Ike Taylor was a man on an island saying, I know it sounds crazy, but the Colts should roll with Matt Hasselbeck, even though they have the $100 million Andrew Luck. Where do we come down now? In fact, MJD, I'm going to start with you on this. Can you reasonably, if you're the Colts, if you're Chuck Pagano and Ryan Grigson, and you're into Andrew Luck for all that money, can you still, even though that it seems like the team's better when Matt Hasselbeck's in there, obviously the record is better, can they still say to Andrew Luck, sorry, man, we're not putting you back in. We know you're 100%, but we're staying with the 40-year-old bald man?
Well, they can. But I think Chuck Pagano said it today, like, it's ridiculous to think that we wouldn't put Andrew Luck back in when he's healthy. And I'm like, well, you're crazy.
Ridiculous? What would be ridiculous about the idea of the guy who's undefeated for your team?
Exactly. Your team's playing better. You have, I think that the defense is playing better. They're averaging 11 points less than when they would with Andrew Luck. Your offense is playing better, and your record is better. So why wouldn't you go with Matt Hasselbeck? It only makes sense, right? But to a lot of coaches, that doesn't make sense.
Guys,
well, what do you
guys,
think?
just real quick. So all of us behind the glass here just feel like this is crazy. He's Andrew Luck, for crying out loud. I mean, maybe he was hurt. Now he's healthy.
Hey, black tie.
No, it's serious conversation.
Is this the black tie show, or is this the
From a player's
Dameshek
point
show?
of view, like, how would you guys, if you guys are in the locker room, aren't you guys saying, of course, when Andrew's healthy, he's
Oh, I think, see, you know what, Black Tie? I think it's the opposite. Are the players in the locker room, aren't they? It's funny you say that, Black Tie, because I think that was the next question for Ike is, aren't all the players like, hey, coach, what are you talking about? We got to stay with the guy that we're winning with, right?
And it all boils down to the season and the offseason. So what you're looking at in the offseason, you're looking at from a total general point of perspective, wins and losses.
Right.
So who gives you the better opportunity? If I'm not playing good as a cornerback, regardless of my salary, I got to sit. If you're not playing good as a quarterback, and this is what y'all not looking at. Yes, Andrew Luck. But we put the crown on Andrew Luck a long time ago, and he really didn't do anything at the time. You know what I'm saying? When I kept talking about these turnovers over touchdown ratio, that's saying a lot. Like, you're hurting your team, you know? But for him throwing them amount of yards, we're going to justify why. And I'm looking at Matt Hasselbeck. He doesn't create turnovers. He manages the game. Now, we always talk about quarterbacks being managers, but your best quarterbacks are managers. Just look at Tom Brady, what he been doing over his career. So when you put Matt Hasselbeck in the situation, he's 4-0. Everything's a little bit more calmer, you know, when he's playing. You run a little bit more when he's playing. The clock management is a little bit better when he's playing. So the thing we're now looking at, or the thing people outside of football now looking at, is the relationship between him and Andrew Luck. Like, he knows he's not the franchise guy. Andrew Luck knows he's not the franchise guy. That's why Andrew Luck, when he got hurt the first time, I was like, just sit him till he get 100% healthy, because Matt Hasselbeck know exactly what he's doing. Why rush the man to come back?
Well, yeah, and to me, that's the answer, is Andrew Luck is the future, where Matt Hasselbeck at 41 is in 2016 is not the future, so you have to manage that. To me, it comes down to, is Andrew Luck cool with it? But really, it comes down to that. If you're a big ego guy and you say, wait a second, this is my team, and you're going to bellyache about it, then it's not worth the trouble of staying with Hasselbeck. But if he's cool with it, like, hey, coach, you can't take him out.
I don't think he's cool with it. I don't think that would be cool with just being the second string. I mean, that's just not in his DNA. He didn't go first round that high for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think he's learning a lot as far as, like, studying, micromanaging the clock, not putting his body in position to get hurt. I think he's learning a lot from Matt Hasselbeck. That's what I do think he's learning, regardless on what we want to say. Regardless on how athletic Andrew Luck is, I still feel to believe he's learning a lot from Matt Hasselbeck. And 4-0 right now, Matt Hasselbeck is putting the team in good contention, man. Like,
I find it amazing that it's even crazier to me that there's still people out there that have to say, when they talk about the Broncos, that there's still some people that think Brock Osweiler should be the QB no matter what. Some people out there. What people are watching the games and thinking, oh, yes, you have to go back to Peyton when he's ready to go? That's logo thinking.
This what we got away from. When we draft these first-round quarterbacks, we used to make them sit.
Yeah.
And they had to learn. So I get it. At the same time, the CBA changed the agreement with the first rounder, so them guys weren't getting paid $60, $40 million anymore. So he could have sat on the Peyton for the Colts a few more years. Tom Brady sat under Drew for years. A-Rod sat under Brett Favre a few years. Ben sat under Tommy a few years. So when you make these guys sit,
Well, Roethlisberger got in there in week 2, but your point's
still,
well taken.
But when you make these guys sit, they learn how to be professional. They learn how to be good quarterbacks.
I think the biggest thing with Andrew Luck is he's so used to throwing the ball down the field that he forgot about checkdowns, right? And so he's forcing this ball into these places when Hasselbeck sees the same coverage, and Hasselbeck's like, look, all right, I'm about to just get the ball out of my hands quick, and we're just going to move the chains. I'm not trying to be Andrew Luck, this guy that we've made him to be. I'm just doing what's best for my team, and that's the difference, and that's where he needs to learn. And that was one of the hardest things when you have a young quarterback who's had success early on, to bring him, humble him back down, say, listen, man, understand that you're our guy, but we need you not to turn the ball over. Andrew Luck's taking his team. There's a reason we crowned him. He went to the wild card, divisional round, championship game. That's why this year was supposed to be Super Bowl or bust. That's why they made all those moves to those guys, 'cause they bought into the hype that we created, right? And rightfully so. You earned that right. But at the same time, you still have to be able to be a game manager first. And that's why I think Tom Brady is one of the best. Because what does Tom do? He'll still check the ball down when it needs to be. Now, he'll force it in there when he has to, but...
Right. This crazy. It's crazy how they used to talk about the offensive line for the Colts when Andrew Luck was getting hurt. Matt Hasselbeck doesn't have them problems.
None.
That's a keen point.